Firearms that cost $800 today could be completely illegal to buy tomorrow. Not illegal to own, illegal to purchase, illegal to transfer, illegal to sell. Virginia's semi-automatic ban is on the governor's desk, effective July 2026. New Mexico's gas-operated rifle ban cleared committee in February. Colorado's permit requirement kicks in August. A federal assault weapons ban sits in the Senate Judiciary Committee right now, naming dozens of models by name. Smart collectors aren't waiting to see what happens. Today, we count down 10 specific firearms serious buyers are grabbing right now before the 2026 midterms change everything. Number 10. M1 Garand. General George Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. America's standard infantry rifle from 1936 through Korea, the Garand was the first semi-automatic rifle issued as standard equipment to any nation's military. It helped win World War II. Every other major power entered that war with bolt actions. American infantrymen had semi-automatic firepower from day one. The Civilian Marksmanship Program sells original military surplus examples directly to American civilians, a program dating back to 1903. In 2024, the CMP moved over 13,000 rifles, a number that reflects genuine inventory pressure. Service-grade Garands are nearly depleted, and expert grade is now the primary offering. That sounds like a lot until you realize the supply is completely finite. These are the actual rifles that shipped to battlefields. When they're gone permanently. Original World War II-era Garands from Springfield Armory Winchester, International Harvester, and H&R sell for $1,000 to $2,500, depending on manufacturer and condition. Winchester manufactured examples command the highest premiums. Rare national match competition versions exceed $10,000. Serial number ranges matter. Earlier production dates matter more. Matching stock and metal numbers from the same manufacturer matter most of all. Every election cycle, politicians propose restricting CMP access, reclassifying surplus military arms, or transferring remaining inventory out of civilian reach. The program has survived every legislative challenge so far, but that conversation intensifies each cycle, and the inventory shrinks regardless of politics. No new Garands will ever be produced. CMP supply falls every year. Demand never drops. That combination has one outcome. Number 9. Steyr AUG. Austria developed the AUG in the 1970s as a complete rethinking of what a military rifle should be. Bullpup layout, modular barrel system, integrated optic, fully ambidextrous design. The Austrian Army adopted it in 1977. Over 30 countries followed. It's been in continuous military service for nearly 50 years, which is the clearest possible endorsement of the design. Steyr imports the civilian AUGA-3M1 to American markets under strict quota arrangements. Current retail runs $2,000 to $2,500 depending on configuration, a price that reflects Austrian precision manufacturing and genuine import scarcity, with prices climbing further on import uncertainty alone. Steyr doesn't flood the American market. These rifles don't sit on shelves waiting for buyers. The federal assault weapons ban of 2025, S-1531, currently in the Senate Judiciary Committee, names the Steyr AUG specifically in its banned rifle list. Combined with the Bullpup's standard feature profile, pistol grip, folding stock capability, threaded barrel, it qualifies under feature-based bans in multiple states already in effect. Here's what separates the AUG from most rifles on this list. Configuration changes happen at the barrel level. One lower receiver accepts 16-inch, 20-inch, and 24-inch barrels interchangeably without tools. A single registered AUG lower is genuinely worth more than the sum of its parts. It's a platform, not just a rifle. Import-dependent firearms face a double threat: domestic ban legislation and executive import restrictions. Either one cuts new supply to zero. When Steyr AUGs stopped importing during previous restrictions, used examples immediately traded above retail. The collector base is quieter than the AR or AK crowd, but supply constraints are tighter, and the named ban exposure is identical. Number 8. Barrett M82A1. California banned .50 BMG rifles in 2004. Connecticut followed. Maryland, Illinois, Hawaii. The legislative pattern is consistent and it's accelerating. John Barrett built the original M82 in a garage in Murfreesboro, Tennessee in 1982. He wanted a semi-automatic rifle chambered in the massive .50 BMG cartridge, the same round used in heavy machine guns since World War I. The military passed. Then Navy SEALs started using it for long-range work, the Army noticed, and the Marine Corps adopted it. Today, the M82A1 is standard issue in over 30 countries. Current retail runs $9,500 to $12,000 for a standard production M82A1, with Cerakote finished models pushing the top of that range. The federal assault weapons ban of 2025 targets semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines. The M82A1 qualifies under multiple feature definitions. Several state-level proposals go further, banning .50 BMG entirely as a caliber, regardless of action type. If a bolt-action .50 BMG gets banned alongside the Barrett, the legislative intent isn't about the mechanism, it's about the cartridge. The collector math is straightforward. Barrett production numbers are modest by necessity. These are expensive, specialized rifles. Every state that passes a .50 caliber ban removes new legal supply while creating a class of grandfathered owners who can't legally transfer within their state, concentrating resale demand elsewhere. M82A1s purchased before California's 2004 ban now sell for significantly more than post-ban examples in identical condition. With 5 states having already banned the caliber and more pursuing similar legislation in 2026, the window is clearly narrowing. Number 7. Springfield Armory M1A. The U.S. military adopted the M14 in 1957 as the replacement for the M1 Garand, same rotating bolt design, scaled to 7.62 by 51 mm NATO, updated for modern manufacturing. It served through Vietnam, was largely replaced by the M16, then returned in specialized roles where full power .308 accuracy at distance mattered more than lightweight handling. The M1A is the civilian semi-automatic version, built by Springfield Armory since 1974. Over 50 years of continuous production tells you something about the platform's enduring demand. This isn't a rifle chasing trends. Political exposure is significant. Every assault weapons proposal targets semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines. The M1A qualifies. Some proposals specifically name M14S variants. The wooden stock standard model might survive certain legislative definitions. Synthetic stock SOCOM variants almost certainly won't. Shorter barrel, pistol grip stock, and tactical configuration put them squarely in the crosshairs of feature-based bans. Current pricing: standard M1A in walnut, $1,600 to $1,800. Scout Squad, $1,700 to $1,900. SOCOM 16, $1,800 to $2,000. National match competition versions exceed $2,500. Used examples in excellent condition hold value unusually well. The platform's accuracy, reputation, and military heritage keep demand steady across political conditions. The detail most buyers overlook. In states where feature-based bans are already law, the traditional walnut-stocked M1A sometimes passes through regulations that eliminate every other semi-automatic battle rifle. It looks like a hunting rifle. Legislators writing feature-based bans often miss it. A wooden-stocked M1A bought today could remain legally transferable in states where AR-15s have been banned for years. That survivability is real collector value. Import-dependent firearms face a double threat: domestic ban legislation and executive import restrictions. Either one cuts new supply to zero. When Steyr AUGs stopped importing during previous restrictions, used examples immediately traded above retail. The collector base is quieter than the AR or AK crowd, but supply constraints are tighter, and the named ban exposure is identical. Number 6. FN Fall, the right arm of the free world. That nickname wasn't marketing. It came from decades of actual military service across 90 countries on every inhabited continent. Britain issued it as the M1A1. Canada issued it, Australia, New Zealand, Argentina. The FAL fought on both sides of the Falklands War simultaneously. Argentine and British troops both carried variants of the same rifle. Chambered in 7.62 by 51mm NATO, the FAL was designed when militaries wanted full power stopping capability at distance. One round from a FAL hits with authority that intermediate cartridges don't match. That's not nostalgia, it's ballistics. The Federal Assault Weapons Ban of 2025, S-1531, currently in the Senate Judiciary Committee, names Fabrique Nationale/FN Herstal FAL in the banned rifle list. Not a feature category, not a class of firearm, the actual rifle by name. DSA Arms in Barrington, Illinois, is the gold standard for American-made FAL variants. Quality American-assembled SA-58S sell for $1,600 to $2,200. With the FAL named directly in current Senate legislation, the 1994 outcome is the most relevant historical comparison available. Number 5. PTR-91. West Germany needed a new service rifle in the early 1950s. What the German arms industry produced, the G3, became one of the most mechanically sophisticated battle rifles of the 20th century. The roller-delayed blowback operating system reduces felt recoil, slows the extraction cycle for cleaner ejection, and functions reliably across extreme temperatures. NATO allies adopted it: Portugal, Norway, Pakistan, Turkey, Mexico. The G3 served in over 40 countries. Heckler & Koch stopped importing civilian HK-91 rifles, the semi-automatic G3 variant, in 1989, a direct result of import restrictions. That decision ended new supply permanently. Genuine imported HK-91s in good condition now sell for $3,500 to $5,000. Nice examples fetch more. PTR Industries in Aiken, South Carolina, builds American-made HK-91 pattern rifles on original HK tooling and machinery acquired from Portugal's military factory. This isn't reverse engineering. It's the same manufacturing process, same specifications, same cold hammer-forged barrels at current retail of $1,300 to $1,600. The 1989 import ban is the direct precedent. When the HK-91 became unavailable, prices tripled within 2 years and never came back down. PTR-91 owners who buy now would hold exactly the same position those HK-91 owners held in 1991, the last generation of a now unobtainable rifle, at prices that only move in one direction from there. Number 4. AK milled receiver rifles. Mikhail Kalashnikov designed the AK in 1947, drawing on his experience watching Soviet soldiers deal with weapon failures in some of the worst combat conditions of the Second World War. The result was a mechanism built for dirt, cold, neglect, and abuse. 75-plus years of continuous service across every climate on Earth proved he got it right. American market A to K rifles come in 2 receiver types. Stamped sheet metal receivers, bent and welded from flat steel, are what most buyers encounter. Milled receivers, machined from a solid block of steel, are the original 1947 design. Stronger, heavier, more labor-intensive to produce. The difference is immediately apparent when you pick one up. They aren't always in stock. Import restrictions have already created genuine scarcity. Cold War-era milled receiver AKs sell for $2,000 to $4,000 at auction when they surface. Every import restriction since 1989 produced immediate price jumps for previously imported examples. Each new domestic ban proposal creates the same pressure. The premium gap between milled and stamped receivers is still reasonable today. History shows that gap widens sharply the moment any restriction passes. Number 3. FN Steyr 17S. In 2004, United States Special Operations Command issued a formal requirement for a new rifle system. The M4 was reliable, but SOCOM wanted a modular platform purpose-built for the demands of post-9/11 operations. Different calibers, quick barrel swaps in the field, folding stock for airborne operations, and ambidextrous controls for both hands. FN's Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle won the contract. The heavy variant, Steyr H, chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm NATO. American Special Operations Forces carried it in Afghanistan and Iraq. Some still do. The Steyr 17S is the civilian semi-automatic version. To comply with 922R import regulations, current production Steyr 17S rifles are assembled in Columbia, South Carolina, using domestic components. The price still reflects military-grade engineering. Collectors who purchased Steyrs in 2015 at $2,500 hold rifles now worth $3,800 to $4,300. That gain happened without any ban pressure, any legislative urgency, or any supply disruption. It happened because the rifle is genuinely excellent and FN keeps supply constrained. Apply political urgency on top of that baseline and the math becomes straightforward. Number 2. Pre-1994 Original Configuration AR-15. The 1994 federal assault weapons ban split the AR-15 market into two permanent categories overnight. Post-ban compliant rifles shipped with neutered stocks, no flash hiders, no bayonet lugs, and restricted magazine compatibility. They sold at normal prices. Pre-ban examples, already in the market with original pistol grips, A2 flash hiders, bayonet lugs, and standard capacity magazines, became an entirely different class of firearm immediately. When the ban expired in 2004, those pre-ban premiums softened. They never fully disappeared. Collectors who understood what they had held original Colt SP1s, Colt A2 configurations, and early Bushmaster and DPMS examples with untouched original features. They've held them ever since. Those same rifles are moving faster right now than at any point since 1994. If a new federal ban passes, grandfathered pre-1994 examples become the only legal standard configuration ARs in existence. Not just more valuable, irreplaceable. Pre-ban examples traded at 2 to 3 times compliant post-ban rifle pricing for the full decade the 1994 ban was in effect. There's no reason to expect a different outcome this time. Colt manufactured examples sit at the top of the market. Colt owns the AR-15 trademark. Every other manufacturer produces AR-15 pattern rifles. An original Colt SP1 with matching numbers, original slab side lower, and untouched furniture is the blue-chip asset in this category. Documentation matters enormously. The difference between a verified pre-ban example and an undocumented one can be thousands of dollars. Number 1. Colt Sporter, original AR-15 lightweight. Here is where everything comes full circle. The AR-15 is the most politically targeted firearm in American history. It's also the most owned, with over 18 million in civilian hands. The proposed federal assault weapons ban of 2025 was written primarily to eliminate it from future commerce. Every feature restriction, every state-level ban, every proposed magazine limit exists in large part because of this rifle. The original Colt Sporter light rifle, produced from 1966 through the early 1990s, represents the platform in its factory military configuration before political restrictions reshaped what could legally be sold. These rifles have a slab-side lower receiver with no forward assist, a triangular handguard, chrome-lined barrel, A1 style birdcage flash hider, and bayonet lug. Every feature current proposals target, present, and original. Nothing modified to comply with anything. Matching numbers, Colt Sporters from the late 1960s and early 1970s sell for $2,500 to $5,000 at auction. Complete original examples with correct furniture, original box, warranty card, and documented manufacture dates command the top of that range. Mid-70s production in excellent condition runs $2,000 to $3,500. Why does this sit at number 1? Because the Colt Sporter is simultaneously the most historically significant, the most threatened, and the most tightly documented platform on this entire list. The AR-15 drives every major gun control debate in America. Every election cycle, its legal status is the central argument. Collectors who bought original Sporters before the 1994 ban outperformed every other firearm category for the following 10 years. The window was open then. It's open now. The collectors who recognize that are already moving. Conclusion: 10 specific firearms, 10 separate investment angles, one underlying reality running through all of them. Every restriction creates scarcity. Every scarcity drives value. Every election cycle compresses the timeline. The collectors who positioned themselves before the 1994 ban came out ahead. The ones who waited paid double for grandfathered examples and spent a decade regretting the hesitation. The 1989 import restrictions did the same to HK-91 buyers. The 1986 Hughes Amendment turned registered machine guns into one of the strongest long-term investments in the collector market. None of that is speculation. It's documented history with prices and dates attached. The 2026 midterms will shape the legislative landscape for years. Smart money moves before the outcome is known, not after the damage is done.